Welcome to section 2 of the Entrepreneurial Mindset. I'm Dr. Dale Caldwell, the Executive Director and Professor at the Rothman Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Fairleigh Dickinson University. So what we're going to do now is really talk about what the entrepreneurial mindset is all about. So as we begin here, let's talk about the definition of mindset. Well, mindset is a collection of thoughts and beliefs that shape your perspectives, feelings, and actions. And so it's important that the mindset really governs why we do and what we actually do. So there's something called the growth. There's a woman named Carol Dweck, a professor out of Stanford, who really popularized this idea of the growth mindset versus what we often call the fixed mindset. And so she used this in education, where students with the growth mindset, they may be C students, but they have this idea that I can grow to be an A student, where the fixed mindset students are saying, well, I'm a C student, I'll always be a C student. And so we need to really have this growth mindset, especially as we're trying to develop the entrepreneurial mindset. So then when we begin to think about this idea of the incremental mindset, this idea that, I don't want to take a chance. I want to minimize my risk. Most people fall into that, which is why the growth mindset is so important, and as it leads us towards the entrepreneurial mindset, this idea that I believe in taking calculated risks and I want to move forward and do things. So let's do some definitions. So the incremental mindset is a manner of thinking and acting based on minimal change and limited risk. And so, again, it's okay if people have this mindset, but they're typically not going to be successful entrepreneurs. They can be successful working for other people. There's nothing wrong with this mindset, but this can really inhibit success. So it's not necessarily a completely negative mindset as negative mindset could be, which is really a toxic manner of thinking and acting based on the belief that failure is likely. This idea where the world is falling apart and people who say, well, that'll never work, and so on. And so it's important to stay away from that toxic kind of mindset. But the entrepreneurial mindset, on the other hand, is really a manner of thinking and acting based on taking the maximum calculated risk. So not the reckless risk, but a calculated risk. That is as opposed to the reckless mindset, which is really a toxic manner of thinking and acting based on taking irresponsible risks. So again, we don't want the negative or reckless mindsets, but the incremental or entrepreneurial mindsets. And so let's look at it from another angle. What are the characteristics of the entrepreneurial mindset? One, analytical skills. That entrepreneurs have to have problem-solving skills. They have to have confidence. They have to have confidence, and we'll talk a little later at the end about confidence versus arrogance. We don't want people who are arrogant, but you have to be confident. You have to be willing to take accountability. You want to have resilience. You want to have humility. And these are some of the key characteristics of the entrepreneurial mindset. Some of the benefits allow you to see and create opportunities. You can see things where other people don't. You can see opportunity where other people don't see opportunity. Turning ideas into action. That some people have great ideas, but they don't make them happen. They don't create the steps necessary to have actions. Using resources smartly. They are focused on a goal and they understand how to use resources smartly. They're collaborating to create shared value. So the entrepreneurial mindset isn't so much about the person just making money on their own, but really trying to create shared value for a group to be successful. And then really maximizing change, risk, and success. The ability to really see opportunities and adjust them so that it minimizes the amount of risk available. So with the incremental mindset, here's a chart. So if you look on the bottom, we have 3 circles. The small circle means a low probability of success. The medium circle is a medium probability of success, and the large circle is a high probability of success. So if you look at a graph where you have maximum change on one axis and maximum risk on another axis, people with the entrepreneurial mindset say, I have a high probability of success if I don't do things differently, if I minimize my change and minimize my risk, and I have a low probability of success if I maximize my change and maximize my risk. And that's fine and good, but that mentality isn't the entrepreneurial mindset. It's not the entrepreneurial mentality. And again, as I said, it's okay if people have that. Not everybody's going to have the entrepreneurial mindset. But it's important, as we did in our last exercise, to look inside yourself to see do I have an incremental mindset or do I have an entrepreneurial mindset? So let's look at the entrepreneurial mindset. What is that made of? So again, you look at the same chart with the three circles of different sizes below, maximum change on one axis, maximum risk on the other axis. The entrepreneurial mindset says, I have a high probability of maximum change and maximum calculated change and maximum calculated risk, that I have a high probability of success, as opposed to having no change, staying the same. I have a low probability of success. So it's important to really understand that. And again, not everybody thinks this way, but these are really the characteristics and the dynamic graphically of what an entrepreneurial mindset is really all about. So this session of giving you some insight, I want you to think about these questions and take time. How do you define the incremental mindset? So I want you to think about it. You don't have to copy my words, but in your own words, how do you define the incremental mindset? And I would add to that, do you know anyone who has an incremental mindset? Next, how do you define the entrepreneurial mindset? And do you know anyone who has an entrepreneurial mindset? It's often easier when you know somebody to really kind of put a face or a behavior to those definitions. Based on these definitions, do you currently have an entrepreneurial or incremental mindset? It's important to be honest. Sometimes people will tell themselves they have an entrepreneurial mindset, yet their actions really say they have an incremental mindset. That's okay. In the next session, we're going to talk about how to use influence to move from an incremental to an entrepreneurial mindset. And then I want you to think about and write down, what are some of the benefits of having an entrepreneurial mindset or e-mindset? I've listed some, but I want you to think broader. I want you to think about people who you know who have an entrepreneurial mindset and what have been the benefits of them utilizing that entrepreneurial mindset. And then what do you think you need to do to develop or enhance your entrepreneurial mindset? So again, these are questions. How do you define an incremental mindset? How do you define an entrepreneurial mindset? Who do you know who represents both of those? Based on these definitions, do you have an entrepreneurial incremental mindset? And be honest with yourself. What are some of the benefits of having an entrepreneurial mindset or an e-mindset? And what do you think you need to do to develop or enhance your e-mindset? So I want you to think about that. That is in preparation of the next session. And again, we're available for any questions that you have. So thank you very much. And in a minute, we will go on to section 3.